What's up, Lincoln sports fans? I'm TJ Tilford.
And I'm RJ Rice. So stop what you're doing because we're jumping right into today's show.
Our varsity football team will be back on the field tonight in the opening round of state playoffs.
And they're fresh off their hard-fought 17-6 win over Pickerington North on Friday.
That's our main event this week as the Lions went back-to-back OCC Conference Capital champions.
We spelled main event M-A-N-E because the Lions definitely roared on Friday, even though they played without their star senior quarterback, Brennan Ward.
Here are the highlights.
For the third year in a row, Week 10, Lions, Panthers for an Ohio Capital Conference championship. Opening drive, pick north of the Gahanna 46 when Jaron Mock can't handle the snap. Drive stopped. Lions take over.
After a Gahanna punt, Panthers on the move again. They convert 2 straight third downs and move deeper into Gahanna territory. But then, Preston Penn comes up with the sack. Panthers go for it on 4th down at the Lions 46, but the pass falls incomplete. Lions take over again.
Now to the second quarter. Following another Gahanna punt, Panthers line up for a 42-yard field goal, and Brandon Fowler knocks it through for the 3-0 Pick North lead. Lions facing 3rd and 10 at their own 20 when quarterback Jake Bushelman keeps it, finds a crease, and he's gone. $80 yards for the touchdown. Lions take the 7-3 lead.
Final minute of the half. Panthers facing 1st down at the Gahanna 4 when Michael Taylor is stripped of the ball and Tazon Burns is there for the recovery. Lions get the stop and they head into the locker room with a 7-3 lead. Opening drive of the 3rd quarter, and the Lions botch the handoff in the backfield. The Panthers' Dante Curtis recovers it, and Pick North is in business at the Lincoln 23.
Next, Michael Taylor rumbles for 19 yards to the Gahanna 4. But again, the Lions D responds, picking up the sack on 3rd down and goal, pushing the Panthers back to the 22.
Then, it's Brandon Fowler again, this time from 39 yards away to cut the Gahanna lead to 7-6. Lincoln punts, and the Panthers respond again. This time, Mock hits Chris Lewis Jr. across the middle, and he races 51 yards to the Gahanna 16-yard line. But
again, the Lions' red zone defense stiffens, and Fowler lines up for his 3rd field goal attempt of the game, and it's blocked by Terrell Holcomb. Now to the 4th. Lions force the punt from their own territory, but Pick North roughs the punter, and the Lions get the automatic 1st down.
And Gahanna takes advantage. It's Bushelman again. He keeps it on the read option and races 40 yards all the way down to the Panthers' 5-yard line. 3 plays later, Bushelman takes it himself, and Gahanna goes up 14-6 with under 6 minutes remaining.
On the next series, Panthers at their own 38 when Penn gets the interception for Gahanna. But the Lions offense goes 3 and out to give the ball back to Pick North.
Desperation time for the Panthers. The snap gets past Mock. He recovers it back at his own 4-yard line and hurls the ball up in the air. And that's where Burns is waiting for the interception. Matt Vieta adds the late field goal to seal the victory. Gahanna wins their 3rd straight OCC championship with the 17-6 win over Pick North.
Man, it's amazing. It's a feeling that I never felt before coming over to the OCC. It's wonderful to win with these boys. We've been working since I got over here, and we ain't done yet.
It's just the attitude we got. We got guys everywhere making plays, all that. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Like, our kids are resilient, man, and just something that culture-wise we teach a lot, and to see our kids go through all that adversity this year and still come out OCC champs for the third time. First time that's happened in 44 years. Like, that's a testament to those boys up there and who they are.
What a game. Let's take a look inside the numbers.
And the numbers really show just how dominant that Gahanna defense was on Friday night. Pick North was averaging nearly 34 points per game this season, and they've topped 40 points 4 times this season.
But on Friday, they were held to just 6 points. And a big reason for that was the Lions' red zone defense.
The Panthers had 5 trips into the red zone, but the Lions forced 2 turnovers, including that huge fumble right before the half.
The defense allowed just 2 long field goals to the Panthers, and they were ecstatic after the game.
That was crucial, man. As a defense, that's our job. It was our goal to shut them down the whole game, and that's what we did. They put up 6 points on the board. Defense did their thing.
Be physical, and make sure your eyes are where they should be, and play ball. Don't let them in.
So the Lions will open up the state playoffs tonight as the 3rd seed in Region 3.
The Lions have won 7 games in a row and have an 8-2 record. They will host border rival Reynoldsburg, who is the 14th seed.
Kickoff in Gahanna Lincoln Stadium will be at 7 p.m. and tickets can be purchased on the OHSAA website at ohsaa.org/tickets. They're $11 for adults and $5 for students.
The Lions are on a roll. And to give us an inside look at Gahanna, our Tanner Southern joins us live from Gahanna Lincoln Stadium, the site of tonight's game.
What's up, Tanner?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. The Lions have to be feeling good after last week's win over Pick North.
Yes, they are. The Lions are confident because after a slow start to their season, they've been dominant during their 7-game win streak. The Lions have outscored their opponents 228-67 during their streak. That's an average score of approximately 32-9. They've understandably turned to their running attack since losing Brennan Ward to a broken thumb. In fact, the Lions threw just 5 passes for a total of 3 yards in Friday's win against Pick North, and they're excited to start their 2nd season.
Something we always talk about, especially in the state of Ohio, is we don't worry about records when it comes to playoffs. Anybody can win at any given time. So we just got to kind of, scout them, see what their strengths are, see how we match up with our new offense this time, and hopefully take advantage of some things to continue progress through the playoffs.
Yeah, so this week, I think it's all about just being mature. We got to take care of our business. We got to do things correctly on our end and just focus on getting to the next round. It's win or go home now, so regardless who we play, we just got to do what we do.
What a great job they did on Friday. Quarterback Brennan Ward is headed to the University of Kentucky next year. But earlier this year, he broke his thumb, and the Lions have had to learn to live without their leader. If you know Gahanna sports, then you know the name Brennan Ward. The University of Kentucky quarterback commit and 4-year varsity starter has led Gahanna to a combined record of 33-6 during his tenure, including a state Final Four appearance. In just 6 games this year, Brennan boasts 1,200 passing yards and 12 touchdowns. In the Week 8 matchup this year, where Gahanna traveled to Westerville Central, disaster struck for the Lions when their leader and arguably the best offensive weapon in Ohio went down with an injury.
Against Westerville Central, I hurt my thumb. I just felt the decision. I needed surgery, talked to some doctors and stuff. So I'm doing better. I'll be all right. I'll start throwing again in about 12 weeks.
This was the first time since 2021 that the Gahanna football team would be playing without Brennan under center.
Brennan, he was like our leader. He kept all the organization together. He kept everything together. But, now that we don't have him, we're facing some adversity. But, now we have to go. We have to win it all without him. I love my brother, but, we got something to prove.
With no clear-cut QB2, the Lions turned to senior and Army commit Jake Bushelman. If you're around Gahanna football, then this name shouldn't be unfamiliar, as Jake has been the Lions' Swiss Army knife all year, playing wide receiver, safety, punter, and returner. He further commits to this role, stepping into the QB spot.
Yeah, Jake does a lot for us. Before I got hurt, everyone knew that he was a big part of our team, how much he did, and then him having to step into that quarterback role a little bit too is just super important. He's carrying a big load for us.
With this new position, Jake has had to add some different insight to his game.
It's just doing one thing at a time, trusting your guys. Everyone's going to do their job, and you just got to do yours.
The past 2 games have been a learning experience for the Lions, but they have been making do. The Lions have had to make adjustments, going from an average of 16 passes per game to just 7. The change in scheme has been one area where the Lions have had to overcome adversity. But what else have the Lions been doing to rise above their difficulties?
I think our defense has played well. That's what's keeping us going where we're going. And winning the games that we're winning is through our defense. We're trying to do enough offensively to put up some points to help our defense.
Despite all of the work that they're putting in, the Lions have had to make big adjustments so that they could end the regular season strong and so that they can make a legit attempt at a state championship.
Obviously, losing a 4-year starter at the quarterback position makes us adjust and change some things. So it changes our scheme a little bit. We run the same plays. We just kind of, mess around with how we push the ball downfield.
Now that they're in the playoffs, it's win or go home for the Lions, and they don't take that lightly. Even without their leader, the Lions are hungry to make it as far as they can. The Lions are looking for contributions from multiple guys again tonight. That's all from the stadium. Let's head back to RJ and TJ at the news desk.
Thanks, Tanner.
Oh, but quick question. Is there any chance that Brendan can return if the Lions win a few games in the playoffs?
Well, we talked to Brendan this week, and he told us that while he's already started physical therapy, best case scenario, he can throw again in 11 weeks. So the Lions are going to have to continue to find a way to win without him in his usual role. On the bright side, he'll be ready for spring ball at University of Kentucky.
Thanks again. Now, let's take a look at their opponents, the Reynoldsburg Raiders.
Reynoldsburg is 4-6 this season.
They're coached by first-year head coach Joe Juan Armour.
Reynoldsburg has lost 2 in a row, including last week's 52-21 loss to Pick Central.
So the Raiders should have a bitter taste in their mouths for tonight. And to give us the Raiders side of the matchup, let's head over to Reynoldsburg, where our Will Pizzico is standing by outside their stadium.
Hey, Will.
Hey, guys.
What did the Raiders have to say at practice?
Well, don't let Reynoldsburg's record fool you. They beat Grove Fort Madison earlier this year, who also beat Gahanna during week 2 of the regular season. And they're looking forward to their first matchup with Gahanna and Lincoln. The two teams usually play each other in the regular season, but due to schedule realignment in the OCC this year, this is the first meeting between Reynoldsburg and Gahanna this year. The two teams met twice last year, with Gahanna winning both games. The Raiders are excited to play the Lions tonight.
I think we're more excited just to make it to the playoffs. We're happy to play anybody, but we're looking forward to playing a team that we're familiar with, players that we're familiar with, and it should be a good game. From the film we've seen from Pick North, they were still able to execute despite not being able to throw the ball down the field. They're very disciplined. They're very well coached, and so their success really depends on if we're able to stop the run, and we plan on doing that.
Obviously, with their starting quarterback out, they really can't pass the ball, so I really just stop the run and contain them. And I feel like we can get the win.
I feel like if we just stay true to ourselves and execute and make plays, for real, we don't got to do nothing extra. Just be ourselves.
Let's take a look how the teams match up statistically. The Lions are coming in at a higher seed with an 8-2 record, while Reynoldsburg is coming in with a 4-6 record. Gahanna's averaging nearly 29 points per game this season and giving up only 13. And the Lions defense has surrendered a total of just 25 points in their last 5 games combined. Meanwhile, Reynoldsburg is putting up just 21 points per game and surrendering 25. 3 of their last 4 games for Reynoldsburg has been decided by 1 score or less, so they have had a lot of close games. So that's a look at the Raiders. Let's send it back to the sports desk.
Thanks, Will. I read their coach played in the NFL. Who'd he play for?
Yes, he was drafted by the Raiders and then later signed a 1-year deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. But he did spend most of his career in a Canadian Football League where they won a Grey Cup, which is equivalent to their Super Bowl.
Thanks, Will. That's interesting stuff.
Now, our own Nolan Bennett has the breakdown on both the Lions and the Raiders heading into tonight's matchup.
Here's the breakdown.
One key player to look out for tonight is Jake Bushelman. He'll be hard to miss as he plays quarterback, wide receiver, safety, returns kicks, and even the punter, where he averages over 41 yards per punt. That's 3rd best in Ohio. Bushelman has the most receptions on the team and is 2nd in yards and touchdowns. He's committed to play D1 football for the Army Black Knights as a safety. 3 weeks ago, starting quarterback Bren Ward broke his thumb, so the Lions have been relying heavily on Bushelman in the run game and using run-pass options. So look for Bushelman back in the Wildcat tonight. Flipping over to Reynoldsburg, the team features TJ Green, who is a 3-star recruit who's committed to play football for Boston College next fall. It'll be interesting to see how the Gahanna Lions will be able to handle him tonight. The last thing I want to note is that the Gahanna Lions played Reynoldsburg twice last year, winning both games in a huge blowout fashion. The key for Gahanna's offense tonight is definitely going to be the running game. Gahanna's attempted only 14 passes in their past 2 games since the Ward injury, and they've completed 9 of them for 89 yards. Meanwhile, Gahanna has ran for 422 yards in those 2 games. So, look for leading rusher Avion Brown and Bushelman to carry much of the load tonight. Brown has 770 yards and 8 touchdowns this season, and sophomore Kellen Rochelle has had a 100-yard game against Grove City. Well, that's the breakdown. Send it back to the sports desk.
Let's go, Nolan. Man, I'm hyped for tonight's game.
Same here, so let's keep it going with football.
Sure thing. As you know, the Lions practice Monday through Thursday and play on Friday nights with those flashing lights in the stadium.
But that begs the question, how do the Lions players and coaches use the weekends to prepare for the following week?
Well, I went out and got a closer look at what Saturdays look like for the football team. Now, you all saw earlier in the show how Gahanna beat longtime rival Pick North last Friday. And you wouldn't be wrong to say that celebrations are in order. But what about afterwards? As the band stops playing and the lights go out, there's only one thing that comes to the Lions' minds, and that's that the job's not finished.
Saturdays to us is like an opportunity to recover and like to get right mentally and get ready for the next opponent we face.
Saturdays to me are just another time to, be around your guys, watch some film, get rid of that soreness, and just come together as a team and talk about the game before.
And then from a correction standpoint, right, it's great to kind of come in when the game's still fresh in your mind and be able for our guys to kind of see things they did great and celebrate that, but also kind of make our corrections.
Saturdays to me are crucial because, those are our recovery days, and those are the days we come in and get right. We come in, we do some stretches, and, we run a little bit to get the lactic acid out of our legs. We lift and get our muscles right, and then after that, we'll kind of watch some film, just revise on everything, and we spend the rest of the day off.
But before the boys earn their day off, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And not just for the players, but just as much, if not more, for the coaches. Which leaves some wondering whether or not the extra work days are really worth it.
We've kind of played around with at times, kind of wondering, should we come in every Saturday? Should we not with the kids? Especially as we get longer into the season.
So the only downside would just having to get up early. Nobody wants to do that after playing a hard game.
As coaches, we have families. I have a son. We have different families, and it's tough on them sometimes. The outside of the weekend is not spending a lot of time or spending some remote time with my son.
Hardly any other teams in the Ohio Capital Conference practice or come in through the weekends. So it's clear that Saturdays don't come without sacrifice. But the fact of the matter is that without them, along with many other contributions made by the team and coaching staff, Gahanna wouldn't be the game-winning football team it is today.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize is how important it is to get the guys up on Saturday. If you've never played football on a Saturday after you've played a whole game, you wake up so sore.
I would say they definitely helped me to play better, During the week, you build up a lot of soreness, a lot of bruises and all that, and then especially during the game, physical. So it just helps to get rid of some of that.
They help everyone else so we can, mentally get right for the next game, see our mistakes and fix them and practice the next week.
I've said this before, it takes what it takes, right? If you're going to be in this career and you want to play winning football, there's a certain process that has to be done.
So Gahanna is going to continue to follow this process because winning isn't something that's supposed to come easy. I'd like to extend a big thank you to Coach Ward, who helped open up the school for me on a Saturday.
As you can see, the football team is putting in a lot of hard work, and we actually have another group of fall athletes who are also working hard for their upcoming state competition.
To tell us about them, Janelle Jemphy joins us live in the studio. How's it going, Janelle?
It's going good, thank you.
What do you have for us today?
The girls' cross country team is headed to states. The girls will run at Obese tomorrow because on Saturday, the girls' cross country team finished 5th at Ruby Lewis led the time with a time of 18:48 and placed 17th. Ruby also qualified for state tomorrow as an individual. This will be her second year in a row competing. But Ruby's not going alone. She'll be accompanied by the rest of the girls' varsity team. We spoke to Ruby Lewis and Abigail Young after their race.
I've been recovering from pneumonia, but that's okay because I'm going to use next week as an opportunity to just really push myself and to just end the season on a really great race. And I'm excited for all the competitors that we're going to see.
Well, I qualified for states individually and qualified for states as a team, which is super exciting because we get to experience it again, and it's just really exciting.
So the girls' cross country will be running tomorrow at the state meet, and it's a familiar setting for them. The Lions ran at the state meet last year, but they weren't happy with their performance. So they're taking a new approach this year. Our Noah Gartland has the story.
For the 6th time in school history, the girls' cross-country team is heading to states. Last year, the girls ended up getting 19th place, which is a great accomplishment, but not something they're satisfied with, so they decided to switch up their training.
Going into regionals last year, we tapered our mileage for regionals just because we really wanted to make sure we were ready to pop and we could get that qualifying spot to the state meet. But then we got the state meet and we were a little bit flat, so this year we've really not pulled back mileage with the hopes that next week we're ready to really do something special at the state meet.
Last year we kind of tapered a little too soon, but this year we're doing something different so we can really run our fastest times at states.
But their training tactics aren't the only thing that's changed. Last year, they had 2 leading seniors who are gone, so it's up to the rest of varsity and the new freshmen to get the points needed to succeed.
Coming into the season, we did lose 2 of our seniors that were on varsity, so that did make an impact to our team. But we do have such a deep team and so many good athletes on our team that we were really able to make up for the loss of the seniors and still have an amazing team and still get really good points on the court.
One thing that won't be changing this year is the course, making the runners ready and more excited this time at states.
We know what to expect because we've been to state before, so we're ready to be back and we want to be back, and we've been just working really hard all season with this goal in mind, so we're all really excited to run this weekend.
Last year, I was really nervous because I didn't know what to expect because I was a freshman, but this year, now going into it, I just feel like I know what to expect. There's a lot of people and the crowds are really big.
With the season coming to a close, states is going to be the Lady Lions' big race, where they plan to leave it all out on the course.
1, 2, 3, Lady Lions!
I'm Nora Gartland in the Zone.
Thanks, Noah, and good luck, girls. The boys' cross-country team, however, will not be running at states tomorrow, but one of them will. Also, on Saturday, the boys' cross-country team competed at regionals, but the team did not qualify for states. However, Owen Tower made it to the states with a running time of 15:49 and will be competing tomorrow as the only Gahanna boy cross-country runner. We spoke to Mason Fry and Beckett Anderson after they ran at regionals yesterday.
So, I thought I went out a little too hard, a little too fast, but felt the pack could have run a little stronger, but overall I feel like the race went pretty well and we had a really good season. So I'm happy with where we're at, and I wish we went a little harder, but overall great stuff.
Group of guys just to a race like the regional championships. It's a great opportunity, so I know I was going to come out here and just take everything in for a moment, but still be able to have a good race. I felt energetic at the start, went out pretty fast. I knew that people play hard to get here and race here, so I was going to go out fast. And then mile 3, just tried to bring it in and ended up with a pretty good time. Owen's going to go to state, so congrats to him.
Thanks, guys, and good luck to Owen tomorrow at states. That's all I have for you today. Now back to TJ and RJ for some volleyball news.
The girls' volleyball team's tournament run is over, but what a great run they had, making it to the Sweet 16. Last night, the girls fought hard against Olentangy Orange in regional semifinals, but were unfortunately unable to take a set. Leading scorers for the Lions were Kyla McNeil with 7 kills, Sanaya Gardner with 6 kills, and Kaylee Jackson and Siobhan Weaver with 5. The girls ended up finishing with a record of 16-9. Congrats to the girls on a great run in the tournament.
So football and cross country are still going strong.
But all the other fall sports teams have wrapped up their seasons.
However, our winter sports teams are gearing up for theirs.
Winter sports will officially start when the girls basketball team opens their season on November 24th.
So we want to take a second and preview 3 of our winter sports.
And to do that, our Ian Powell joins us now on set.
What's good, Ian? I heard our winter athletes can't wait.
They can't wait. Starting off with our boys basketball team, who went 13-10 last year. Now this season, they're coming up and they're not wasting any time getting in some early work. The boys lost many seniors, including first-team All-OCC player KJ Renaud and second-team All-OCC player Jonathan Whiteside. Only one starter from last year, Xavier Rogers, returns, so they're relying on many new faces. But our players believe in their hard work will pay off in the offseason, and they're optimistic about the upcoming season.
Yeah, so I think this year for varsity, I think it's going to definitely be a good one. Just because we have so many guys that can play defense, and it might be a little different just because the energy is going to be the really big thing this year. And team chemistry is going to have to be at its highest. And I think so far during the open gyms and the different things we've been doing, it's just been good for us. I think we're going to have a good year ahead, and really we're going to look to do some good things.
No, I'm excited for this year. You know, we have a whole bunch of young dudes that are like stepping up varsity for the first time. Like we have like 2-3 seniors like in total. Like we don't really have a lot like older dudes, but like it's a whole bunch of young dudes like just stepping up. And I'm excited for this year and seeing what we can do and accomplish in like our conference and fighting for championships.
Thank you. Moving on to bowling. Our boys bowling team is hitting the weights after coming off a huge 23-24 season where they made states and finished 11th in qualifying rounds at states. 3 of the Lions' top 5 bowlers from states last year returned, including current junior Will Gray, who fired a 660 at states. He's joined by Mitchell Jensen and Braden Anderson to lead this year's Lions team. We spoke to Braden Anderson about their work in the offseason.
We've been doing a lot of stuff with our legs and with our core. We've been doing a lot of push-ups, sit-ups, basic stuff, and we've been trying to just improve our strength so we can endure the long days for the tournaments that we do and become better bowlers.
And finally, on to indoor track and field. Although indoor track isn't as prevalent as the spring's outdoor, that hasn't stopped our team from striving towards their ambitions this year. Last indoor season, the boys did not place at states. However, they've been working in the hallways during the cold fall days and spending plenty of time in the weight room since the beginning of September, getting ready for this season. Dalen Givens finished 21st at indoor states last year in the triple jump, and 2 relays finished at the top 18. Here are Myron Payne and Dalen Givens to tell us more about the team's goals going forward.
For our indoor season, I'm just trying to see big growth. The indoor season's kind of just a building block for us leading into the outdoor season. So personally, I'd like to see myself go to states and a lot of my other teammates make it to indoor states just to give us some momentum going into outdoor.
My goals as a team overall is to help each of my teammates get better, keep pushing them every day, get on them when they're slacking, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we all just get a win and do good at meets.
Well, that's all I've got for today. Let's send it back to my 2 favorite seniors at the sports desk.
Thanks, Ian. We'll preview the rest of our winter sports teams in our next show.
But the upcoming sports season has our Sports Zone staff thinking, which athletes should we be looking for this year?
We had options ranging from state champions to all Ohio players to consider, so it wasn't an easy decision.
But nevertheless, here are our top 5 winter athletes to be watching for this season.
Starting at number 5 is junior girls basketball player Hayden Hall, who's a 3-year starter. And starting since freshman year, she's got a lot of experience to say the least. Last year, Hayden averaged 12 points per game, 2 steals, 2.5 rebounds, and 3 assists, earning first team All-OCC.
I think a big personal goal is to be a great leader for the younger girls and just for my teammates in general. And then on the floor, I want to continue to grow my game and just continue to get downhill and just be a better player every day.
Checking in at number 4 is sophomore diver Dylan Sponseller. Although he has only 1 high school season under his belt so far, he's already in the record books for 2 of his dives. On top of this, he made states last year for diving, where he would go on to place 25th. An impressive feat for a freshman, and is on the hunt to beat his records this upcoming season and place even higher at the state meet.
I felt really good. I mean, I didn't expect I would make it there freshman year. Then also, I wish I probably could have had harder dives to get even farther and just get way better scores to beat more of the competition. I've been working on getting harder dives. I've been working out to get stronger, which helps me get the harder dives so I can get better scores.
At number 3 is senior wrestler Musa Jala. The 4-year varsity starter is coming off of his best high school season yet, where he was one of the 2 Gahanna wrestlers who qualified for the state championships. Along with this, he boasted a 43-7 record last year, surpassing 100 wins for his career. Musa geared up during the offseason, qualifying to wrestle at Super 32.
Training 3 times a day, most of the week, so waking up at 6 a.m., working out then I work out after school, and I got another workout at 6:30 after that, and just stay healthy, all in preparation for states, and try to get that state championship.
At number 2 is sophomore wrestler Kylie Tibbs. Despite this only being her 2nd year, she has already made a name for herself. As a freshman, Kylie was given the chance to go to states and ended up placing 2nd and going 4-1 at the state tournament. She went 40-4 and had 36 pins throughout her freshman season. This year, Kylie is working hard and hopes to be standing on the top of the podium at states this season.
It was exciting. It was really exciting, but it was also, I was so nervous because, I was the first one this year there. But it was really fun. I'm glad I got there. I would say the pressure to get first because I got second last year.
And finally, at number 1 is senior swimmer Aubrey Braceno. She's heading to swim Division I at West Virginia University and is currently ranked the 19th girl swimmer in Ohio. She has qualified for states in every single year of her high school career, including winning a state championship in the 200 medley relay at just the age of 14. With 1 year left in her high school career, she's looking forward to reaching the top once again.
I think hopefully we can win OCCs again. We have some really good people joining our team this year. I think our relays are going to do really well. Me personally, some goals I have are to go back to states, swim really good times, and hopefully place well and score points for the team.
Be sure to look out for those Lions this season. Now, here at Sports Zone, we understand that sports run deep in America's roots. The close games, the adrenaline, the excitement, the atmosphere, all add up to create a feeling like no other. However, behind the scenes, there are some issues and debatable topics in the sports world that have come to light recently, and they both directly impact teenagers. So, here's this week's Outside Zone.
Thanks, and welcome to the Outside Zone. We're going to get started today with NIL. Over the past few years, NIL has been running rampant through the world of college football and college sports in general. Many players getting paid over $1 million. Just recently, though, UNLV's quarterback Matthew Saluka quit on his team during the middle of the season over NIL disputes. So, I'm here to ask you guys today, do you think NIL should remain in college sports?
See, I personally do think it should remain, just because you're getting paid on the type of player you are, and it's not one's fault that they do extra work and they're doing extra work to get themselves above everyone. So obviously I think they should be rewarded more. So I do believe that it's a good idea, even though there are those minor issues, but overall I still think so, yeah.
I disagree. Those players are good, but I don't think they deserve to be getting paid that much. And then also, when you have these huge programs paying like tens of millions of dollars for all these players, a stacked roster full of 5-star recruits, these other programs just can't compete. You have the same Big Ten, or like the same top 10 every year, and I think these smaller schools don't have a chance when there's NIL in the college football world.
Well, I disagree with you, Graham. I think that NIL is even like leveling out the playing field in certain sports with college football specifically, because these smaller schools are getting an opportunity to pay big-time players to come play for them, which is evening out the field. So I think NIL, they need to put some limitations on it, but I think it is good for the world of college sports overall. Moving on to our next topic, sports betting just got legalized here recently a few years ago in Ohio. A lot of people think that it shouldn't be legal because there are a lot of underage people gambling online. What do you think about sports betting? Should it stay legalized in Ohio?
Yeah, I completely agree with what they're saying. Obviously, there's some fun parts of it, but overall it's not a good idea. You do have underage people betting. And really, I think when it comes to those games and stuff, it shouldn't have all that attention over betting. It should really just be more about the sport itself and the team. And so I think with all that extra distraction, it's just not a good idea to bring.
Yeah, I completely agree, because it might be fun, it might give you some adrenaline rush, but when it comes down to it, I see some of my friends, some of my classmates betting a large amount of money on these games, making parlays, and I just don't think it's good at such a young age.
I think that if we could find a way to put limitations on it to make sure underage people aren't betting, I think it's healthy for the world of sports. Especially if you look across the last few years, people haven't been watching the NBA as much in the regular season. But with sports betting, a lot of people are paying more attention because they're looking at games and making bets with their players. So I think if we could put some limitations on it, I think it would be just okay.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's all we have for the Outside Zone. RJ?
Thanks, TJ. We'll be back next week with more exciting Gahanna Lincoln sports news, including previews for our other winter sports teams. But until then, go Lions!